the first live-action movie of the international hit about human-sized turtle ninjas who were raised by a rat and love pizza. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the first fandom I was a part of. I watched the cartoon, I had the toys, the stuffed animals, and the bed sheets. I played the video games, I collected the trading cards, and I even had the cassette tape album coming out of their shells. Now see, for those of you who are too young to remember, back in the late 80s and early 90s, every popular franchise had an album of third-rate songs. There was The Simpsons Sing the Blues, Dinosaurs Big Songs, and Coming Out of Their Shells. I even convinced my summer camp to put on a Ninja Turtle play that my mom wrote. I was Donatello, my brother was Raphael. Now our costume budget wasn't nearly as good as the movies, but ours did feature a New Kids on the Block dance break right in the middle of it. So back in 1990, to say that I was excited for this movie coming out would have been the understatement of the year. I still remember waiting in line with my dad and my brother to go see it on opening day. There were dozens of people in front of us in line when the manager of the theater came out and announced that the movie was sold out. Everyone left defeated, walking back to their cars, when my dad walked up to the manager and said, "Are all of the showings sold out or just this one?" And he goes, "Oh, just this one." So my dad bought tickets to the next showing, we killed a couple of hours going out to dinner, and then saw the movie, and it just blew our little minds. I've probably seen this movie a dozen times, but I probably hadn't seen it in 25 years. Now, when they announced it was coming back to the theater for its 35th anniversary, and I realized that my daughter is now the same age that I was when the original movie came out, it was an immediate family outing to go see this movie. Now, she liked it, but she definitely didn't love it like I did back in 1990. I don't usually do spoilers, but I am going to for this movie, mainly because the plot is so paper thin and predictable, there's really nothing to ruin. The plot of the movie is basically, crime in New York City is bad, and things are being stolen from people, and no one knows by who, and the cops are helpless to stop it. We first meet TV reporter April O'Neil, played by Judith Hoag, who seems to be the only reporter in all of New York City who is good at her job. She has suspicions about these crimes, and very early in the movie she gets mugged by some criminals, but is saved by mysterious figures who end up taking her back to their hideout in the sewers, where she learns they are human-sized turtles and are being raised by a rat. Now, for most of the movie, the turtles are shot at night and in the dark sewers. Now, this maybe was trying to be dark and gritty like 1989's Batman, but it also may have been because the more we see of the turtles in the light, the more we could see the imperfections in the costumes they're wearing. Now, personally, I think the costumes look amazing, and having animatronic mouths move as the turtles talked added a whole lot of realism. I have zero complaints about the costumes actually, but I do have plenty of complaints about the turtles themselves. Now, the cartoon, and I assume the comic, which as much of a fan of Ninja Turtles as I was, I've actually never read the comic. But each turtle is unique and has a distinct personality. Even the TV show theme song tells us in just a few words what each turtle is like. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines, he's the smart one. Raphael is cool but rude, and Michelangelo, he's a party dude. But in the movie, Donatello and Michelangelo are goofy teens who don't take things seriously. They are basically just mild comic relief, and other than their headband colors, they are completely indistinguishable from one another. And Leonardo also doesn't do much of anything. The only specific thing I remember him doing is sitting in a chair, sleeping, watching over Raphael, who's in a coma. Speaking of that scene, Raphael gets beat up, he's unconscious for a couple days, and the other turtles in April just haphazardly throw him in a bathtub with one arm hanging over the side. Just put him in a bed or on the couch, or at least, in a pile of blankets on the floor. So that leaves Raphael as the only turtle with any character arc or personality. Now, I'm not sure where Raphael falls on the popularity scale across all of Ninja Turtles fans, but amongst my friend group, the only person who had Raphael as their favorite turtle was my brother. Raphael is rude, he talks in this thick New York accent, he likes movies and getting out into the real world more than the rest of the turtles, and most of the movie happens because he encounters a vigilante named Casey Jones who is trying to stop the crime ring, since the cops obviously won't. Now, Casey Jones, he's 1990 cool. He's got shoulder-length hair, he's a smooth talker, he wears a hockey mask, and he beats up bad guys with a hockey stick. So, of course, when he meets April, he has the hots for her, but she's unsure if she's into this rough and tough guy. Speaking of April, for some reason, every morning before work, her boss just shows up at her apartment to yell at her, and he always brings his kid along, and I'm pretty sure that's some kind of HR violation. And of course, the kid that he brings along is stealing from April and happens to be in this gang that's robbing people all over the town. Now, the gang is led by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villain staple, the Shredder, who we see in a couple of early scenes doing his best deep-voiced, oversized helmet, flowing cape, Darth Vader impression. Shredder is such a presence in the cartoon, and in the movie he's got like 7 minutes of screen time. But Splinter, The rat looks really cool, like a real sewer rat, but he's the size of a medium-sized child. He speaks in a way that gives him this cool elder vibe with gravitas, and it's hard not to respect him. But in the movie, he's basically here just to give the backstory on himself and the Turtles and the Shredder. And there's this really cool underground layer that the Shredder's minions, who are called the Foot Clan, hang out in. It's full of loud music, neon lights, skateboard ramps, arcade machines, poker games, and all the cigarettes you can smoke. Honestly, it seems like a place I'd have wanted to hang out if I were a teenager in 1990. The entire movie's plot can be summarized in about 30 seconds, and it seems like the filmmakers were struggling to even get to 90 minutes. The characters are all paper thin, but they have enough connection and similarity to the cartoon that kids who like the cartoon, they're gonna love it. The entire plot builds to this big showdown with Shredder, but that showdown is a letdown. The Turtles don't even know who Shredder is when they meet him, and so they're not even intimidated by him. And the fight is over in seconds, and the Turtles aren't even really involved at all. It was this huge anticlimactic climax, and then the film ends with almost no resolution. So to recap, the movie was too dark, too short, the characters were one-dimensional, the plot paper thin, the bad guy isn't in it enough, the love story's pretty weak, and all these years later, I still love it. Being a radical rat, casually holding a stolen wallet under your arm, eating an apple on a porch swing, giving your besties a high 3, when your boss shows up at your house before work to yell at you, sketching a sleeping turtle,